in a really pivotal time in my life, especially around 2015 and 16. Like when you were on tour with Rihanna at the time, and that's when I did a lot of my unlearning about a lot of the things that I think today. Yeah, solitude is definitely another one. Yeah, just get in an environment that doesn't reaffirm the things you already believe.
And then connecting in spaces that do allow for those sorts of conversations. So then us having those moments of solitude, like me on the road, or you know, were at home, or when you also were on the road, having your moments of solitude. When I was at home, you know, by myself, and then being able to come together and know that we could have those conversations without judgment and to feel safe. And even if we didn't always agree, be able to have intellectual conversation about it. And then you make me think about things I wouldn't have, and vice versa. That's important too. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't think that everyone can or needs to be the thought leader, or that needs to be the free thinking individual. But that does mean that if that's not your calling, or not the responsibility that you want to have, that you find your tribe and that you open yourself up, like you said, to people who are challenging things, so that you can look at things from a new perspective, and don't shut yourself off to being able to gain knowledge from someone that may not have 100%, like be aligned with you on 100% of the things, you know, right. I think, like you said, that definitely does us a disservice to do that, because then it's like, who is this perfect person that you can ever really listen to? Because then you don't ever look at the discrepancies within the things that you already choose to agree with.
Yeah, facts.
You know, like open yourself up.
And then for the parents out there, you know, really considering homeschool is another way of, you know, allowing your child to be able to come out of having all those, the pressures of our youth, and we can all attest to this as adults, is so tough and so influential on the way that we think today, by having the pressures of all these other kids telling us what we should think.
On top of social media.
Yes, exactly, man. Because I can't imagine having that along with social media as a child. And these kids are on the iPad from 1 year old, literally. So the programming runs deep, and we have to take back, because the programming is in the textbooks as well. Yeah. And we have to take back our education and teaching our children the things that they need to learn that are from a holistic point of view. Changing your diet, having a better relationship with your, or better mental health practices, self-love, self-care, whether that's meditation and yoga, being in nature, all the different things that we you know, really drive home here at Let There Be Art. Is how you can deprogram from what this world tries to tell us that we have to be.
Yeah, and it definitely does start with the children, because a lot of times, and that us raising a teenage boy, and like some of the programming that he experiences from people who are just saying things to him without really even thinking about why they're saying it. You know, like, oh, you got you some girlfriends now? It's like, no, like not yet. But it's like,
that was a part of what I was saying earlier about why I thought that was something that I needed to affirm myself as a young man, and that talking to these different girls was something, from the music to my uncles to my aunties, like, even, you know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all hate, and even women hating the way that they've been treated, still going along with the program because they just heard it so much. You just regurgitate stuff without any thought to it at all. And it's really scary, yo.
Yeah, it really is. And so it does start with the children, and we got to do a better job about like asking ourselves why we like put this pressure on them to like continue to perpetuate things that didn't serve us. You
Facts.
know, it's like you're telling them to do this, but then you realize like, man, I wish I had taken more time for myself when I was younger. Like the things that you're telling and encouraging our listeners to do now are the things that we need to encourage our children to do now. You know, instead of like the new HOCO movement, you know, they've rebranded Homecoming, by the way, y'all know they call it HOCO. And it's like, okay, you got to do these promposals or do all these things, and like, and like just rushing them into this simulation of what adults do. And that's another way to capitalize, because now you can sell dresses and you can sell this and sell that. Like, again, it's always about the money. It's never about the well-being or how it actually benefits the people. And not to say that you guys can't have a good time and you can't go to HOCO. I hate calling it that. I don't really want to call it that, but Homecoming or whatever.
Stop doing it. You program.